Guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm just gonna switch it up a little bit in what I'll call my drive and chat series in the 2024 i4 M50. Let's go ahead and put this thing in sport mode. I know not everybody likes that quote unquote artificial noise, but guess what? Yeah, I like that. All right. It's not everybody's cup of tea. An EV, right? There's no noise. It has no soul, and so on and so forth. And I mean, I get that. I still have an ICE. Actually, I have a couple of ICE cars as well. So, and I'm, don't see the world is not really ready for an all EV. We're not even close to being ready for an all EV world, right? I mean, unless you're living in a house like myself, or you're living somewhere where you can charge at home, then to be honest, I mean, just keeping it 100, an EV is not going to be practical. But I'm just going to talk about something else that's actually on my mind today, and that is happiness. Happiness, right? I mean, what does it mean? What does happiness mean to you? What does it mean to me? What does it even mean? And this just kind of crossed my mind. I woke up this morning and I went to my IG and just going through, and I saw some few IGs of some other folks, right? And I just saw one in a video of this lady who's living in Nigeria, and she just looked so happy. Not only that she looked happy, it reminded me of when I once lived in Nigeria with my family, my wife and my children. There was a 6-year stretch where we made that move from US back to Nigeria, so our children can have an understanding, quote unquote, of where they're from, right? Their fatherland, their motherland, all that good stuff. I mean, they're born here in US, but I mean, what does it mean to have that Nigerian blood in you if you don't get your 2 feet on ground and mix up with the locals? So, without rambling too much, I mean, the video that I watched reminded me of how I felt while I was in Nigeria during those 6 or 7 years. And during that time, I had a fraction, financially, from a financial perspective, I earned a fraction. And when I say a fraction, I'm talking about less than 10%, way less than 10% of what I currently earn. However, I was a lot more at peace, a lot more happy when I was there. And then, you have to keep in mind that, again, trying to keep everything on the up and up, keeping it real, Nigeria is not really the most, predictable environment, right? It's not really the most, predictable environment. It's well documented that, in spite of the fact that Nigeria is blessed with all sorts of natural resources, the country, the average person, the average citizen on ground living in Nigeria is not doing that well. It's a very tough environment to live in. The wages are super low. The infrastructure is dilapidated, right? I mean, potholes in the roads, bridges. Some of the bridges pretty much literally fallen apart and just crumbled. There's no regular electric supply. In fact, you have to generate your own electricity. Water, there's no public source of water. You have to invest in your own borehole, drill that pipe all the way to damn near to the crust of the earth, and use a pump that's plugged, that's buried in the ground to basically suck out the water, the underground water, and then push that water all the way up to an overhead tank, and then that tank, just through the natural gravity, pulls water right back down. And that's how we get our water, whereby when you get in the house and you turn your taps on and you got water, that's how we get our water. That's how I had my water for 7 years. And what I'm trying to explain is that in spite of in that environment, I was a little more at peace, right? There was some kind of peace. I was at peace in that environment. In terms of happiness, I felt a little happier, right? I felt a little bit happier, living there. It's one of those things that I cannot explain. But I think the more that I thought about it, right? The more I thought about it, I feel like it boils down to the fact that happiness is a derivative of service to humanity, right? Like how we share ourselves among ourselves, how we provide service to ourselves, right? Like how we treat each other. And while I was there, I didn't have a lot of money, right? I mean, we had some money, right? I mean, we obviously had to have something for my wife and children, for us to be there for however many years we were there. But we didn't earn anywhere near as much as we're earning out here in the U.S. And that's understandable, because obviously the cost of living out here is way, way, way more than the cost of living in Nigeria. But not with standing. We were able to like things. It's one of those things where you cannot explain it, but I feel like I was transformed in that environment. I was transformed in the environment of embracing the fact that life is all about being of useful and positive service to each other. And within that service, within sharing love, sharing assistance, whatever, it doesn't always have to be from a financial point of view, right? It could just be somebody that just needs you to listen to them, to hear them out, to provide them advice, and you're there, you're present in that moment. That's where joy begins to creep in. That's where happiness begins to creep in, and it begins to compound. And so therefore, I think in essence what I'm trying to say is that being in an environment where there is a lot of need, right? Obviously a lot more need than out here in America, being in that environment, and then embracing everything that came with being with living in the environment, as opposed to complaining about the negative aspects of living in that environment, but rather embracing it and saying, you know what, this is just the way it is, and we're gonna make the most out of it, and we're gonna give thanks to God in throughout this entire process and experience. Me living in that environment and in that sense having faith, right? Just giving of myself and almost giving up myself, right? And just having faith that, listen, everything, anything good that's meant to happen is going to happen positively by God's grace, as long as I keep putting my best foot forward. And whether or not it leads to anything financial, I didn't worry too much about those things. And I found out that I was a lot more at peace, a lot more happier, and I transformed, right? I'm a different person now, hopefully a better person, right? It's not me to judge. Only God can judge me. But I know that I'm a different person from that experience. I'm no longer the same person that I was, and for that reason, I felt that is where I found the formula of happiness. It comes with selflessness, and it comes with gratitude, and it comes with just being sharing yourself with humanity, right? And that is it's not, at the end of the day, it's not about how much money that you earn, or it's not about definitely this lovely car, right? Remember, I didn't drive anything near as nice as this when I was in Nigeria, and I can honestly tell you that I was a lot happier then. I was a bit more happy. Let me not say it a lot, but let's say a bit more happier then than I am now. And not to say that I'm not happy, but I feel like I need to get back into that thing, tap into that thing that I embraced, right? Whatever that thing is, I need to get back into it, lean into it, and tap into it in order to increase the happiness factor in my life. So guys, I hope that this video is of some kind of use to you guys. And until then, until we meet again, have a nice day and have a nice weekend. Take care, and God bless y'all. Peace.